You are here, right now, reading these words, and this moment is not accidental. You didn't land here by chance or habit. Something slowed your hand. Something made you pause when you could have kept moving. You can feel it in your chest, that quiet pressure, that awareness that this second matters more than most. Heaven is calling your name, and the sound isn't loud. It's steady, intentional, close. You are standing at a crossroads where movement and stillness both carry consequence. You sense it already. The air feels different. Not heavier in fear, but fuller, like something unseen has stepped closer. Your heartbeat hasn't sped up because of anxiety. It's responding to attention. You are being noticed, watched with notice, not judgment. Jesus is speaking to your heart now, not in thunder, not in command, but in a voice that knows how tired you've been. He isn't forcing you to stay. He's asking you to. That alone should tell you how much this matters. You've skipped things before. Messages, moments, feelings that tugged at you and asked for your time. Life taught you how to move quickly, how to scroll past discomfort, how to silence the quiet pull that asks you to feel. But this moment resists that instinct. It presses gently but firmly, like a hand on your shoulder saying, "Wait." You are meant to hear these words because something is shifting in the unseen, and you are standing right where that shift intersects your life. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, sword drawn, not in threat, but in protection. You don't see him, but you feel the clarity he brings. The confusion that's been circling your thoughts, the mental noise that's kept you unsettled, begins to lose its grip. That's not coincidence, that's guarding. There has been a battle around your peace, and it didn't start today. It's been building quietly, brick by brick, moment by moment, trying to close you in without you noticing. Jesus knows this. He knows how slowly it happened, how distraction pulled you inch by inch, how disappointment softened your expectations, how unanswered prayers made you careful with hope. You didn't wake up one day and decide to drift. You just got tired. Tired of waiting. Tired of believing without seeing. Tired of carrying questions that didn't seem to have answers. And somewhere along the way, numbness felt safer than longing. That's why this moment matters. Heaven is intervening before you drift too far to feel the pullback. This is the hand reaching for yours before distance becomes separation. Jesus is whispering, "Do not skip this." Not because he needs your attention, but because you need the connection. If you turn away now, you don't lose love, but you do lose closeness. You lose the awareness of being held, guided, heard, and your heart has been aching for that more than you've admitted. You may feel resistance rising in you right now, a voice saying, "This is nothing," or "You've heard things like this before." That voice wants you to scroll away, to decide quickly, to disengage before you feel too much. That voice thrives on interruption. Michael's presence stands against it, steady and unmoved, holding space so you can choose without pressure, without distortion. This is your crossroads. Both heaven and darkness are watching what you choose next, not because they control you, but because choice matters. Every choice shapes direction. Every moment of attention opens a door. You are not being threatened, you are being invited. Love is reaching for you, and love always allows refusal. But love also tells the truth. Walking away has a cost, just as staying has a reward. Your body is responding before your mind fully understands. The slight warmth, the settling in your chest, maybe even a wave of emotion you didn't expect. That's not imagination, that's recognition. Something in you remembers what closeness feels like. Something in you knows what it's like to be seen without explanation. That memory is being stirred now. You've been carrying more than you show, smiling through weight, functioning through fatigue, holding yourself together in ways that cost more than anyone realizes. Heaven sees that. This moment isn't about proving faith or earning favor. It's about interruption. Interrupting the slow fade, the quiet withdrawal, the belief that distance is normal. Jesus is not accusing you of leaving. He's reminding you that you can come closer, right now, without fixing anything, without explaining anything, just by staying, by listening, by letting this moment be what it is. A pause, a crossing, a chance to choose connection again. Michael's sword remains drawn, because clarity needs defense. Not everything that sounds reasonable is true. Not every urge to move on is wisdom. Sometimes staying is the bravest choice you can make. Sometimes stillness is the doorway to movement you couldn't reach any other way. This is why the moment feels charged. This is why you feel watched but not judged. This is why the pull is gentle but persistent. Heaven is close, closer than you think, and your name is being spoken with intention. You are not lost. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are here because timing aligned around your willingness to pause. Do not rush past this. Let it settle. Let yourself feel the weight and the warmth at the same time. This is the beginning of something turning. Not all at once, but decisively. You haven't missed your moment. You're standing in it. You didn't arrive at this moment untouched. You carry history with you. Layers of experience that shaped how you listen, how you trust, how you protect your heart. The battle around you didn't announce itself with chaos. It came quietly, disguised as fatigue, as routine, as the slow acceptance of less than what your spirit once recognized as possible. That's how it works. Darkness rarely rushes. It waits. It whispers. It convinces you that distance is normal and that longing is dangerous. Michael has been watching this build, brick by brick, around your heart. Disappointment was the first layer. A prayer that stayed unanswered longer than you expected. A hope that felt exposed and then disappointed. You told yourself you were being realistic, but something in you hardened just enough to avoid the sting next time. Then came heartbreak. Not always romantic, sometimes relational, sometimes internal. Trust stretched thin. Expectations lowered. Another brick placed gently, almost kindly, as if to protect you. Then there were the unanswered questions. The moments you asked, "Am I still being heard?" The nights when silence felt personal. Doubt didn't shout, it murmured. Maybe you missed something. Maybe you waited too long. Maybe closeness was for other people, not you. These thoughts didn't feel hostile. They felt logical, and that made them dangerous. Jesus heard every word you spoke into that quiet, every frustrated whisper, every half-prayer you didn't finish because it hurt too much to hope. He didn't turn away when you questioned. He didn't step back when your faith felt thin. He stayed close, even when you couldn't feel him, especially then. Silence was not absence, it was protection. There were things forming that required cover, not exposure. You may have woken up one day and felt distance without knowing how it happened. A numbness where warmth used to be. A heaviness in your chest that didn't belong to any single event. That was the weight of accumulation. Not failure, not rejection. Accumulation. And the enemy used it to whisper that you were drifting because you weren't chosen anymore. A whisper is a lie, and Michael stands against it now. You are not being called back because you failed. You are being called back because you matter. Heaven doesn't chase what it plans to abandon. This message didn't reach you to shame you into attention. It reached you to remind you of access. Connection never closed. You just stopped feeling it. And feeling is not the measure of truth. Right now, there is a battle for your peace. And peace is not passive. Peace is defended. That's why the atmosphere around you feels charged. That's why your body reacts before your thoughts align. You are sensing a shift in the unseen. Forces that thrived on your exhaustion are being confronted. Not dramatically, firmly. Quiet authority has entered the space. The enemy wants you to scroll away, to decide this is nothing, to reduce it to coincidence. Distraction is its favorite tool. If it can keep you moving, it doesn't have to overpower you. It just has to keep you from staying long enough to receive. Jesus and Michael are saying this moment is everything, not because of the words, but because of what staying opens. Angels surround you now, not hovering for spectacle, but standing in awareness. They see the weight you've been carrying, the tears you refuse to show, the exhaustion you hide behind function. Heaven understands the cost of endurance. You didn't collapse because you were weak. You stayed standing because something in you is resilient beyond your awareness. You are not too far gone. You have not crossed an invisible line. Grace does not run out because you grew tired. Love does not withdraw because you needed distance. This is Jesus reminding you that belonging was never conditional. You don't have to repair yourself to return. You don't have to explain your absence. You are recognized the moment you turn your attention back. Michael's voice is calm, not urgent, because authority doesn't rush. He knows the strategy that's been used against you. He knows the moments you almost gave up, the times you decided not to feel because feeling cost too much. And he knows how close you came to accepting less than what was meant for you. Not because you lacked faith, but because you were weary. If you skip now, another moment slips by. Another opportunity for clarity is delayed. But if you stay, something begins to loosen. The bricks around your heart don't shatter all at once. They shift. They crack. Space returns where pressure lived. That's what you're feeling right now. The beginning of relief. You cried for signs. You asked for clarity. You begged for reassurance in ways you barely remember. This is the answer arriving without announcement. Not flashy, not loud, but precise. Heaven reaching out saying, don't ignore this call. Not because punishment waits if you do, but because help is present if you don't. The battle has reached its moment of decision. Not in noise, but in stillness. Will you keep moving to avoid feeling? Or will you stay long enough to receive what's already leaning toward you? This is not about proving anything, it's about allowing something. You are allowed to be held. You are allowed to be guided. You are allowed to stop carrying everything alone. The presence you feel is not imagination. It's recognition meeting recognition. Heaven knows you, and right now, it's making itself known. Staying is quieter than leaving, but it is far more powerful. The moment you chose not to move on, not to scroll away, something subtle but irreversible began to shift. Timelines don't always break with noise. Sometimes they bend. Sometimes they realign so gently you only notice after peace starts replacing pressure. That is what's happening now. Your choice to remain has altered the atmosphere around you. Every second you stay lifts weight you didn't know you were carrying. The air feels different because heaven is close. Closer than it's been in a long time. You may notice strange sensations, chills that move without cold, warmth in your hands, a sudden calm settling your breath. These are not tricks of emotion. They are signals. Your spirit is responding to alignment. You are not being overwhelmed. You are being recalibrated. Michael whispered your name when this moment opened, not as a warning, but as a recognition. This one must not skip. And Jesus agreed, not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. Willingness is rare. Staying when it would be easier to move on is not passive. It is an act of trust, and trust opens doors that effort cannot. Light is gathering around your name now, not metaphorically, intentionally. In the unseen, attention is being redirected. What once drained you is losing leverage. What once delayed you is being bypassed. You're standing between two timelines, one where things slowly fade and one where everything begins to turn. Staying is the pivot. You've felt strange waves lately, sudden emotions without clear cause, moments of heaviness followed by unexpected calm. That wasn't instability, that was preparation. Your system was adjusting to a change before your mind had language for it. Divine presence doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it shadows you, guiding you toward the place where you can finally receive. Your pain was not wasted. Every closed door, every disappointment, every moment you thought you were being overlooked contributed to this hour. Heaven does not rush healing. It times it. And now, it wants to trade your sorrow for something holy. Not by erasing your past, but by transforming its meaning. Someone fought for you when you had nothing left to give, when you were operating on fumes, when your faith felt thin, when you questioned whether staying soft was worth the cost. Jesus looked at your name and said, "This one will not be abandoned." Michael stood guard when you didn't even know you were in danger. That's why you're still here. That's why you didn't break when you thought you might. Do not skip now. You are moments from hearing what others were not allowed to hear. Your spiritual file has been reviewed, not to expose your weaknesses, but to confirm your readiness. Heaven has decided this is your recovery season. Old pain is expiring. Not slowly, decisively. A miracle is already moving toward you faster than you imagine. Stay with this. Let it continue. Heaven was quiet, but it was never absent. It waited for the precise moment marked for you when your endurance and your openness would intersect. That alignment begins now. A seal is being placed on you. You'll feel it, not as pressure but as steadiness. Goosebumps, warmth, a stillness that doesn't feel empty. That is confirmation, not coincidence. Heaven is acknowledging your choice to remain. As you listen, events are rearranging. Paths that were tangled are being smoothed. Outcomes you thought were closed are being reconsidered. This is not fantasy. This is movement in layers you don't usually see. You are closer to a turning point than you realize. Michael is guarding what belongs to you. Jesus is asking you not to move because what comes next carries confirmation. Your spirit has been tired, your faith has been stretched, but you did not let go. Heaven noticed. Silence was not punishment. It was protection, while something larger took shape. Something stands at your door now. Locks that wouldn't budge are about to open without force. People who dismissed you will hear your name in rooms you were never invited into. Redemption does not announce itself. It arrives. And it arrives when resistance is gone. A wave of favor is moving as you breathe. What was delayed is accelerating. Expect movement, calls, messages, unexpected help from directions you never considered. Michael says you passed the hidden test. Your heart stayed pure. Your patience stayed intact. The pressure you felt was proof that you carried something important. If you could see beyond the veil, you would see an army behind you. Every force that tried to stop your destiny is losing cohesion. Before the next sunrise, something greater will begin. Keep your mind steady. Heaven's plan is snapping into place faster than time itself. By the end of this moment, you'll feel it. A peace after the storm. A warmth protection wrapping around you. This is why they warned you not to skip. You were not just hearing words. You were standing inside a living exchange. What is happening now is quiet, but it is final. This is the sealing, the moment where what began to shift becomes fixed in place. Heaven is close, closer than the language can fully explain, and it is watching how gently you hold this space. You are not being tested anymore. You are being affirmed. The choice to stay has already been counted, already recorded, already answered. A hidden door is opening inside this moment. Not outside of you, but within. Something long guarded, long delayed, is being released because you remained present long enough to receive it. Michael saw your struggle at every stage. On the nights you almost gave up. On the mornings you kept going without motivation. He stood beside you, blocking whispers that said you were alone, shielding you when you didn't know how close doubt came. Your breakthrough has been speaking your name for a long time. It just needed you to stop long enough to hear it. When Jesus saw the level of pain you carried without bitterness, he said, "This one has suffered enough." And with that recognition, chains began to loosen, quietly at first, internally. Then all at once, what once held you in place no longer has authority. Those who doubted you, dismissed you, or overlooked you will witness your rise. Not because you seek validation, but because light reveals itself naturally. You are in a divine exchange now. Tears are becoming peace. Fear is becoming power. What drained you is being repurposed to fuel you. Every delay forged endurance. Every lonely stretch refined clarity. Heaven says it is time. You are about to find something big, not necessarily loud but significant. Signs will follow. Repeating numbers. Perfectly timed messages. Unexpected alignment. Do not argue with them. They are confirmations, not coincidences. Michael warned because he cares. You were inches from losing a blessing, not because it was taken from you, but because you were close to walking past it. Heaven intervened with precision. Divine timing, not urgency. You may feel warmth in your hands. Your chest may settle. A lightness may move through you. That is not imagination. That is reception. Doubt closes doors. Attention opens them. Because you stayed, the door remains open, and heaven will walk you through it. This is not a promise that fades with emotion. It is an alignment that carries forward. What appears in your physical life will echo what is happening now. Proof will come, quietly, in ways that feel personal. Heaven has marked you. Every word now carries weight because it is writing your next chapter. Michael stands behind you, wings spread, forming a barrier no darkness can breach. Jesus stands before you, hand extended, not pulling, simply present. This is the moment of transaction. Restoration begins releasing in waves. You may notice your breath deepen, your thoughts slow, your body settle. That is heaven's signal. You are covered with grace that will outlast this moment. People will notice the change, not because you announce it, but because peace alters presence. Strength, calm, light. That is the mark of one who stayed. Michael is whispering your name into the current so blessing recognizes you. Plans mapped against your peace are being erased. You are entering a phase where favor finds you even in silence. Heaven is finalizing your release. What drained you will now sustain you. Confidence will feel steadier, not forced. This is why they said you would lose both if you skipped. You weren't just hearing words. You were standing in a living moment. Because you stayed, the moment stayed with you. Jesus and Michael walk with you into tomorrow. This is not just a message, it is a sealed promise. From this point forward, notice how things turn. Your alignment is complete. The final pages of an old chapter are closing. Here, Michael stands at the edge of your destiny, holding a scroll etched with your name in light. Jesus has stamped it with blessing. Together they seal a season of peace, provision, and recognition. Heaven saw every sleepless night, every moment you kept going without reassurance. Endurance is being rewarded. The pressure against you is reversing. Doors stuck shut will open. Some people may try to return, drawn by the light now surrounding you. Something meaningful is close. By the next sunrise, you will feel the difference. The air will seem lighter. Timing will fit like a key. Michael says, you listened, and it saved everything. Obedience restored what was almost lost. You didn't just hear a message, you lived a shift. Let peace wash over you now. Feel your heart quiet. That is not just calm, it is settlement. Jesus says, it is done. Michael lowers his sword, not in surrender, but in victory. The fight over your destiny is settled. You are protected, encircled, safe. From now on, what grows will grow openly. Tears planted miracles, and heaven is watering them. The season of battle is closing. The season of building begins. Impossible connections will meet you at perfect intersections. What seemed slow was waiting for you. This is the turning point. You have stepped into higher light. Heaven always hushes before it speaks loudest. Expect confirmations. You are not imagining the presence, breakthrough is wrapping around you. You stayed, and because you stayed, no weapon remains. You are chosen, covered, and moving forward. Pain closes here. Peace opens now. Breathe. Be still. This covenant holds.